Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update video. We'll have a bit of a chat about what's been going on in the press over the last few days or so in Spain. It's been a busy week, as you guys know, with lots of things happening in the parliament over the last few days here in Spain, especially when it comes to failed investiture sessions. As we know, Mr. Feijóo is trying to get the support of the parliament, unsuccessful unfortunately, or at least he was the other day, and today, Friday, he has another shot. But nobody thinks that he's going to be successful today either. Now, as you can see, I'm in a different location today, a historical location. I've got a castle behind me there, also an old town behind me over here. Hopefully you can see it well, even though I've got an ugly fence here because they're not allowing people to get into the castle area anymore. Not going to tell you where I am, but if you want to try and guess, feel free. So let's talk about some of the main stories that are in the press today, Friday, and it's all about that failed investiture session that Mr. Feijóo started the other day. Today it will come to an end and he won't get the support he needs. As we know, the Catalonians are starting to push even harder. There's rumours now that they're asking for another referendum. I mentioned this the other day because it first popped up. But different Catalonian leaders over the last few days have said that definitely they will ask for a referendum. And if Sánchez wants to get the support of these Catalonian separatist parties, he's going to have to agree to that. Not only an amnesty, which was on the table before, but now a referendum too, I think by 2027, so that the Catalonians can decide self-determination. Now, we saw this happen back in 2017, but of course that was an illegal referendum. They didn't get the support of the Spanish government at the time, Mr. Rajoy and company, and that led to the downfall of Mr. Rajoy and the rise of Pedro Sánchez, who, as I said, is trying to be re-elected also, and he has an investiture session coming up soon. He wants to get it out of the way quickly. He wants to get these Catalonians on board. He's already got the Basque nationalist parties on board, so he needs the support of the Catalonians if he is going to be re-elected. And the news breaking at the moment is that Salvador Illa, who was the former health minister in Spain, you might remember him from the pandemic. He was the guy with the glasses, a Catalonian guy. He's now the leader of the socialists in Catalonia, and he said that we will go to elections if necessary. We're not going to agree to a referendum. But as we know, this particular political party doesn't always keep its word, so we don't know what's going to happen over the next month or so. Sánchez has until the end of November to try to get the support he needs, but as I said, he wants to get this out of the way quicker. But at the moment, the PSOE party and the Sumar party don't seem to be in favour of a legal referendum for Catalonia. So it's going to be difficult if they don't agree on this, because as I said, those Catalonian nationalists are pushing hard. Not only Spain's #1 fugitive, Mr. Puigdemont, but also the ERC party, which is the Catalonian Nationalist Republican Party. They also want to separate from the rest of the country. And the basic problem here is that they don't respect the Spanish constitution. Whenever the king visits Catalonia or the Basque country, these independence parties refuse to meet him, and that's part of the problem. They don't respect the Spanish constitution. So we'll see how this one plays out over the next few weeks, or as I said, the deadline, the end of November. Now, another story here in Spain that has caught my attention recently, a story in Jerez yesterday of a 14-year-old boy who went to his school with a knife and stabbed 3 teachers and 2 other students. Apparently, he said the day before, stay away because tomorrow I'm going to come with a knife and I'm going to stab you all. And he lived up to his word, went to the school yesterday, I believe it was, and stabbed, as I said, those 3 teachers and 2 other students. So violence creeping into Spanish schools, not a good look. And there's been a lot of stories around lately about what's going on with the youth here in Spain. Apparently there's problems when it comes to youths watching hard pornography. There was also another case last week or the week before of artificial intelligence being used to put Spanish schoolgirls in a delicate situation using their faces or their images in pornographic scenes. And apparently a boy in a school decided to use artificial intelligence and put these images out. And of course the families of the girls in question here very distraught that images like this have been spread all over the internet. So lots of crazy things going on when it comes to teenagers here in Spain, a difficult age as we know, but this event down in Jerez yesterday, taking it to a whole new level where violence creeping into schools. Luckily, kids in this country don't have access to guns, or at least it's very difficult for kids to get their hands on guns. But knife crime, unfortunately, an issue because, as we know, it's very easy to get your hands on a knife. So hopefully this is a one-off and it doesn't lead to a string of violent events at Spanish schools. Let's also hope for that. Another story that has been dominating headlines over the last couple of days involves Football Club Barcelona, one of the two big clubs in this country. If you know anything about football here in Spain, you'll know that there are two big clubs, Real Madrid and Barcelona. They take up all of the attention, and Barcelona are in hot water at the moment because of an alleged referee scandal. And allegedly, they were paying referees to get some type of an advantage in the league. Not sure what's going on there, but a judge yesterday indicted the Barcelona Football Club. And apparently, the spotlight has turned on former presidents of that football club, the presidents that were in power, I think, since 2008. And the current Barcelona Football Club president, Joan Laporta, is also in a bit of trouble, I think, because he was president back in 2008 as well. So the presidents of that club, as I said, in trouble because of this alleged scandal. And what I will say is that the Spanish Football League is one of the most uneven football leagues, I think, that exists in Europe. The same teams win every year. It's either Madrid or Barcelona. Every now and again, another team takes out the title. For example, Atletico de Madrid win every now and again, every 10 years or so. Very, very difficult to win La Liga here because those two big clubs, Real Madrid and Barcelona, have a lot of support and a lot of power. In fact, no matter where you go throughout Spain, you'll see people supporting these teams. And basically, if you support a smaller team here in Spain, you will never have a chance of winning La Liga because, as I said, all of the economic resources and all of the support of the league go towards those two big clubs. Atletico de Madrid is a big club. It has a lot of supporters. There are other big clubs in Barcelona. There's a big club in Seville. There's a big club in Valencia. The Valencian club has some financial problems at the moment with the ownership of that club, but Real Madrid and Barcelona absolutely dominate football in this country, and Real Madrid also at a European level. So not a very even competition, La Liga Española, and if you went to a bookmaker at the beginning of the season and you said, I want 50 on Real Madrid or Barcelona to win the championship, I don't think you would get very good odds. Just my opinion. And the final thing I'll talk about is the general prices of things here in Spain. As we know, a lot of things are very expensive at the moment. I'm sure they're expensive wherever you are as well. But here in Spain, people are doing it tough with these high prices. And inflation figures were published yesterday. 3.5%, I think, was the figure mentioned. So inflation is up again because of high fuel prices and also because of high food prices. Olive oil, as I have said on numerous occasions over the last few months, is sky high at the moment. Basically, people can't afford to buy olive oil anymore at 10 euros a litre for the good stuff. You can get inferior quality olive oil cheaper, but people want the good stuff and it's very, very expensive at the moment. And fuel, as I mentioned, also hitting highs again. In fact, we're going back to the same prices that we had last year when it comes to fuel, and that made the government give a 20-cent discount per litre rebate on fuel. But I don't think there's any talk of that happening again because, as we know, we only have a caretaker government at the moment and they can't do a lot. So inflation, unfortunately, on its way up again, and we don't have a government at the moment that can take measures. The caretaker government is too busy with other things. They're too busy, as I mentioned at the beginning of today's video, doing deals with all of these nationalist parties around the country, these independent parties trying to get into power, and the real problems are affecting the average Spaniard on a day-to-day basis. Fuel and food prices, as I mentioned, continuing to rise. And some of the measures that the government put in place earlier in the year, for example, lowering VAT on certain products, energy products and also food products, those helps are coming to an end too soon. So it's going to get even tougher for the average person living here when that help comes to an end and the normal VAT is re-established on those food products. On that note, I'm going to wrap today's video up. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. If you know where I am, leave it in the comment section. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. I'll see you in the next one. Hasta luego.